there, it is time for today's JeepShot. So I am actually in one of my favorite places in San Francisco. I am at Ocean Beach, and I've actually backed in with the back of my car to the ocean, so hopefully the camera will pick that up. So you will have a little ocean view as we go through today's JeepShot. So, in keeping with our pattern for the next few days, today is brought to you by the letter I. And I is such a lovely little letter. But let's see, I'm actually sitting here. I have a few extra, actually almost an hour before my dance lesson. I thought I'd put a little life in my life and take a salsa dance class, which has been, pretty fun, except for that gap between work and then waiting for 8 o'clock for the class to start. But I have learned a few things, and the most basic thing was I am not a good follower. I just enjoy salsa dancing, so I get into the music and I just lose my step and just start going with the music, but I'm taking lessons so I can learn to be a good follower. How about that? When my role is usually leader, which carries out into the dance floor, and that's not very ladylike, now is it? So before we get to the almighty letter I was watching TV yesterday, and I heard a news segment. It was not a local news, I want to say somewhere from the East Coast, but I thought it was interesting, so I'm posing a question to you. The situation was, there was a couple who were riding motorcycles. I'm not sure if they're tandem riding together or if they're two different motorcycles, but they're two drivers, husband and wife, and there was a young driver, 19 years old, who was texting, and he hit them with his car, and both of them lost a leg. So that is naturally very tragic, and the point of the story, though, is that the couple is suing the driver, obviously, for texting and not paying attention to the road, and so, they were grossly injured and lost a limb each. But also, they are suing his girlfriend, who they said knew that he would be driving when she texted him, so she should also be liable. So the presumption was, and of course, at least according to the episode, based on the time of day, this person was apparently or most likely leaving work. The girlfriend would know that he was leaving work, and if she sent him text messages during this period of time, then she clearly knew that he would be in the car at that time of day, so they felt that she should also be liable. So the driver was 19, so how old is the girlfriend? Probably relatively close in age. So number one, they probably don't have any assets. But the first question to you is, do you think that the girlfriend in this case should be liable for the accident and the injuries to the couple? That's the first question. And then the second question, or more like a statement, is, my perception, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that, women, business owners, service providers, I guess really depends on what type of business you have, but to a large degree, I feel that a lot of people, women, small business owners, solopreneurs, don't necessarily look into liability and the insurance needs. So that's our first word for the letter I. And I'm not selling any insurance, this is food for thought. But as your assets grow, especially here in California, this is a very litigious state, and as times get hard, people just are ready to sue at the drop of a hat anyway. So my question to you is, have you had the conversation with your broker about umbrella insurance? Umbrella insurance is just like the name sounds, it's over and above your liability insurance. So whether you have, even if you don't have a business, if you have any assets at all, such as a house or, some like your retirement funds, people can go after your assets. So it's worth having a conversation about umbrella coverage. And it's not really that horribly expensive. The coverage usually starts around $1 million, or at least the last time I looked at it, maybe it's gone up. So that's your first task, is to think about your insurance needs. Are you adequately covered? Obviously, we're hoping that you're not driving and texting and you don't run anybody over, but other things happen. If someone slips in your driveway, who knows what could happen? So an umbrella insurance policy is just something to think about. And another thing about our letter I today is, since I do hold events, sometimes I like to think of icebreakers. And one of the exercises I did, I was speaking at the YWCA's Young Women and Money Conference, and I had them introduce themselves using only one letter of the alphabet. When I introduced myself doing that, I used just the letter I just because it's a good letter. Interested and interesting. You know, and there's some other words that are clearly not coming to me right at this moment, but just try and introduce yourself, whether you use I or another letter. Just think about that when you have the opportunity to introduce yourself to someone. They always say you have to introduce yourself in a way that makes it stick, and if you use all words with one letter of the alphabet, that's certainly one way to make yourself stick. That's just an aside, has nothing to do with anything, but that is an exercise that I use as a warm-up for getting people to talk to each other and get to know each other at workshops. And then finally, yes, there is a point to this video. Let's just say, using the letter I as a business owner, it pays really, today in particular, to be interested in your surroundings and to what's going on around you. You know, sometimes we just get caught up in work and we get our nose to the grindstone, kind of like we have our blinders on and we miss everything. So you really need to be interested in your surroundings, and it's certainly you need to be interested in other people. And having this interest helps you come up with better solutions and better ideas. But the point of being interested is so that you can be more innovative in your approach to business and more innovative to your problem solving. So that seems like a mysteriously long Jeep shot for the letter I, and I hope you can see the ocean. That would be a really great way to close today. So I hope you have a prosperous week, and I am off to salsa. Baile. Ciao.